ship sank as well. Some Japanese Zeros found us. They dropped 28 bombs on the Viner Brook and 27 missed. The one that got us went clean down the funnel and blew the ship from beneath our feet. Then the Japs strafed the lifeboats, the deck, and shot up over the lifeboats. Everyone was surprisingly calm, from sheer disbelief, I suppose. We acted more like we were hopping off a bus than fleeing a sinking ship. But soon we were to discover that it wasn't the Japs that posed the biggest danger. Before we left Singapore, the Navy had issued us with life jackets, but they weren't the normal issue. And nobody told us that they had to be tied in a different way to the normal ones. So when our ship was ablaze and sinking, some of the women started to leap from the deck. I was just about to do likewise when an army sister grabbed me. She waved and yelled, "Bridie, don't jump!" And she pointed down at the sea. Those women who jumped were floating quite well, but all of them were dead. They were killed the second they hit the water. Their life jackets broke their necks. Well, we had no choice but to shimmy down ropes. Like most beginners, I went too fast and burned my fingers raw.
What was going through your mind as you struggled in the sea?
I was trying not to panic. You see, I didn't know how to swim. My dad had never taught me. "No need," he said. "You got a mole on your neck. That means you'll never drown." So as I swallowed half the South China Sea, I hoped to God my dad was right. But it's like Sheila says, drowning simply wears you out. I tried to say a rosary, but I must have dropped off to sleep. Then suddenly a splashing sound woke me. I was sure it was a shark until I heard this little voice call out, "Weather's turned a little bit chilly for this time of the year." And then she added so politely, "I don't think we've been introduced."
You can't remember what I said.
Well, I told her how I was, but she was a bit standoffish.
Cartwright is an Irish name. Mother wouldn't have approved.
Another stuck-up pom, I thought. But I talked to her anyway.
She wouldn't stop talking.
I had no choice. You see, Sheila wasn't in a life jacket. She was just clinging to some wood. And if she'd have fallen asleep, she'd have drifted away and drowned. So I asked her questions. I quizzed her on everything. Fashion, food, film stars. She liked Frank Sinatra. I preferred Bing Crosby. Well, we had a few words about that, and then she fell asleep anyway.
So how did you keep her awake?
She hit me, that's how.
Just a gentle tap with my shoe-horn. I still had it in my pocket.
Wham! Right here, every time I close my eyes.
Tap, tap, tap.
Whack, whack, whack.
And it kept you awake. And do you know what she said in the 5th or 6th go? "Cut it out, you Catholic cow."
That isn't true.
Well, I was tempted to let us sink, but Christian charity, took over the day, and so I tapped her again. Just a little bit harder. But after a while, I was too tired to hit her, even for the pleasure of it. A wave came along, and it picked Sheila up, and it carried her away. Well, I called and called, but there was no reply. And I was sure the poor kid was dead. I started to say a prayer for her poor departed soul when above the waves I heard this raspy little voice. I thought I was going mad because it sounded like Jerusalem. And there Sheila was, still clutching her wood. I was so darn relieved to see her, I even joined in. My dad would have killed me, acting like a Protestant.
Bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from end to fight, nor shall my soul sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem
it take till you were washed up on shore?
Oh, we weren't washed up. We got a lift, thanks to this one.
Just after dawn, when my nose felt like Pinocchio's, a ship came out of nowhere.
Before I could stop her, she was waving and yelling, "Yoo-hoo, chaps, I say, yoo-hoo!" But by then, I could see the ship's flag.
How did you feel when you realised?
Too tired to care. And they didn't seem to notice us, as if we were just rubbish that was drifting their way. We must have looked like rubbish too, bobbing around and covered in oil. And then one of them pointed and yelled, soon there were dozens of them lining the deck, and I could see that they were all laughing at us.
I wanted to cry, but I reminded myself that I was a woman of the Empire, and it wasn't done to show fear to the natives. I could almost hear my mother saying, "Chin up, girl, and where are your gloves?"